Score more for less with our NK News Shop discount campaign. Ready to upgrade your wardrobe with some unique flair? At the NK News Shop, podcast listeners buying any 2 items from our t-shirt or hoodie collections will snag their third for half off. Whether you're eyeing our North Korea-themed gear for yourself or as gifts, now is the perfect time to act. Don't miss out. Head to shop.nknews.org and make the most of this limited time offer. That's shop.nknews.org. Hello, listeners, and welcome to the NK News podcast. I'm your host, Jacco Zwetsloot, and today it is Wednesday, the 25th of February, 2026. I'm joined here in the studio by Joon Ha Park. Joon Ha, welcome on the show.
Thank you for having me.
This week marks the seventh anniversary of the failure of the summit at Hanoi.
Indeed it does.
Just thought I'd throw that in there. Last week was my 8th anniversary of having started this podcast series back in February 2018. Thank you. And this week, the failure of Hanoi. 7 years
Wow.
it's been, right?
Okay.
But we're here to talk about the number 9 party Congress.
Right, yeah.
Right, which has been happening the last few days. It's not finished yet, is it?
No. So there's still
going
no timeline of where we can expect it to finish. Of course, we can look back at the 8th Party Congress, which lasted for 8 days.
Goodness.
So we're still on the 6th or 7th day right now, or 6th day, sorry. So we've still got, if they follow the schedule of 8th Party Congress, then we've got 2 more days to go.
Right.
Nothing really substantial as of yet in terms of foreign policy. There's been a lot of focus on domestic issues and economic issues, especially the...
Right, because we know at these congresses they normally issue the next 5-year plan, or at least that's what they've been doing the last couple of iterations.
Indeed. So that's what we were sort of expecting on the first couple of days, or at least what I was expecting on the first couple of days for Kim Jong Un to not so much as replicate what he did, but at least still mention, foreign relations in his policy review of how the Workers' Party of Korea, or the 8th Central Party Committee, was going about its sort of 5-year relationship with party affairs.
And they've got a lot to say on foreign affairs, given their massive, approach to Russia in the last couple of years.
Right. So we only saw, Reil-hwan, one of Kim Jong-un's top aides, basically applaud Kim Jong-un for his service to the party during his re-election on the 4th day.
Right, he's been re-elected. No surprises there?
No, yeah. It is a rubber stamp parliament. It is North Korea after all. So Kim Jong-un is the one and only leader of the party that can be sort of put into a general secretary role. And Reil-hwan, what he was saying was that he was applauding Kim Jong-un for, issuing in the era of Russia-DPRK relations, sending troops to Ukraine or the Ukraine war. And I think that, his continued nuclear weapons development, rejection of economic reform under sanctions, that was also applauded by Reil-hwan, the senior official. He also mocked other countries for failing to secure their own powerful weapons.
Oh,
and
any
going
specifically?
No specific nations like South Korea or Europe, but of course, through our analysis in-house, we were looking that it was probably referring to Washington's relations with the allies. So under President Donald Trump's second term, where he's accusing allies of not spending enough or making allies spend more on their defense issues. So I think it really does put into a chronicle of Kim's career as the North Korean leader. So he became leader in 2011, December, and then after the death of his father, and then he decided to formally take the title for himself of General Secretary at the 8th Party Congress in January 2021. So it is just a continuation of that trajectory.
Also on the leadership there, I think that Sister Kim Yo Jong has a new title now, is that right?
Indeed. So Kim Yo Jong was appointed a director of an unspecified department of the
unspecified.
Right. So that was still left out of detail within the Rodong Shinmun and KCNA reporting.
Goodness me, they are very economical with information, aren't they?
Right. Well, but as we already know, Kim Yo Jong has been the de facto spokesperson of the, Kim Jong-un regime, especially in terms of inter-Korean issues in recent days, where she's been commending the South Korean unification minister for expressing regret on the alleged civilian drone incidents that happened both last year and this year, January. She's also been accused, or not accused, but she's been saying quite a lot of sassy statements towards the Republic of Korea and also the United States based on, what the North Korean interpretation of their own foreign policy is. So she was not specified on which department she's leading. She is now a director of some department within the Workers' Party of Korea. So indicating that she is one of the most senior among the group that was listed among the 17 department directors in state media. I think it was Monday they published a list of the WPK Central Committee full members.
It's the Workers' Party of Korea.
Yeah.
I understand that some of the old guard have been moved out. I think Che Ryong-hae, as he's been around for decades. I mean, he served under Kim Il Sung, didn't he? Anyway, certainly very much under Kim Jong Un. He was very prominent.
So he was the chairman of or he probably still is, the chairman of the Supreme People's Assembly Standing Committee. There are also some key figures that were not listed. The senior military officials Park Jong-chon, leading military and nuclear weapons officials like Ri Pyong-chol and Hong Sung-moo as well, who are not within that list of appointees. So what some experts have said or they've told us was that it does suggest that Kim Jong Un is elevating some younger, much more loyal cadres.
Putting his own people in, basically.
Right. So sidelining some aging elites, some of them who are in their 70s, I believe. And
well, they're spring chickens compared to Kim Jong-nam, who was, 90 or something when he retired?
Yeah. I mean, he's a different story, but what the experts were saying that they could be in or preparing for retirement. So several economic and South Korea policy officials were also dropped, indicating some sort of broader accountability for shortcomings in the previous 5-year plan from 2021 to 2025 and a continued sort of deprioritization of inter-Korean relations on the forefront.
Now, I looked through some of the stories there. Of course, for our listeners, you'll find all full coverage and analysis at NK News and NK Pro. In one of the stories there, I saw it mentioned that Kim Jong Un issued a warning about negligence in terms of workplaces and factories and things.
Right, so that happened on the 5th day. So just yesterday, we got the report that Kim Jong Un, he was vowing to accelerate that level of development that he promised.
This is the 20 by 10 project?
Yes, so the regional development drive. Basically, building, hospitals, different facilities for, civilian use and whatnot. So what he was saying was that he was trying to deliver more substantial benefits to the public. He was also, as you mentioned, criticizing the extreme negligence in the management of newly built facilities. Right. So considering, hospitals, factories, and whatnot. So he was concluding his review of the party work at the 9th Party Congress just 2 days ago, I believe, since the report came out yesterday. So he was trying to reference problems, as I mentioned, with his 2010 regional development policy. He said that the new 5-year plan, which is set to be sort of rubber stamped within the next few days, and we will hopefully get some more details soon, would focus on stabilizing and consolidating the economy through a tighter ideological control.
Okay.
Self-reliance, anchored in the 3 revolutions.
And this sort of ties back to, I think it was just last month that Kim went on an inspection tour of a new factory and basically fired someone on the spot.
Right.
To get out while you still can, yeah. So he's not happy with some of the poor-performing projects and poor-performing party functionaries. So he's very, coming down very hard on negligence.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, now we've still got a couple of days of possibly a couple of days of the Congress to look forward to. Has a big vision, been laid out for the people?
Not really. It's been quite a lot of optimism, except for, the negligence comment that was made and a couple of other fleeting comments by Kim Jong Un regarding what the party was like in the past 5 years regarding sort of economic policies and whatnot. I think that what we can expect for the next few days is, or at least what the team is expecting, is a forthcoming roadmap of the next 5 years. So political, economic, and military strategy. We are seeing that, 3 main agenda items are still ongoing. So I think the review of the Workers' Party of Korea Central Committee work, that's still in the process of review, as I believe. I think it was still in review this morning when the report came out without Kim Jong Un mentioned. I think it was just party delegates who were reviewing. We've got a completion of revision of party rules and the election of central leadership bodies that were completed both on Sunday, or reported to have completed both on Sunday. So those three main agenda items, or one of them, is still ongoing. So we'll see perhaps a roadmap or a full report of what the party decides to do for, fiscal year 2026 for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
literally
what we're expecting.
Or I'm certainly wondering whether some sort of a big picture plan is going to be laid down for how North Korea is relating to South Korea. Whether there's
nothing
some sort of
really that's been mentioned in terms of South Korea. It's probably just a continuation of what we've seen, sidelining South Korea from the foreign relations talk. There are some predictions and some expectations of how South Korea would be seen or designated by North Korea during this iteration of the Workers' Party Congress. The sort of redrawing of the inter-Korean maritime border, sort of designation of South Korea as the hostile state, repeating that statement, or, even moving forward, going for a constitutional review of, amendment of how South Korea should be seen, or whether they implement it and mandate it within their constitution, which they still haven't done yet.
Or at least it hasn't been publicized.
Right? So there have been, some speculation of how South Korea will be viewed by the North Korean party elite and also Kim Jong Un in this party congress, but
nothing yet.
As I mentioned, nothing much.
Interesting. And we're possibly expecting a parade to sort of wrap things up at the end, right?
Right. So satellite imagery that was analyzed by our senior analytic correspondent, Colin Zverko, he did analyze that we were expecting a military parade to happen at the end of the party congress. When that will happen, we don't know. But if it does follow the schedule of the 8th party congress, which finished on day 8 with a military parade, then we could, see a military parade within the coming days.
When would day 8 be in this case?
Day 8 would be, I think, Sunday or Saturday, I believe.
Okay.
So
end of this week or the start of next week. There could
right.
be...
There could be a parade on Monday.
Yeah.
Who knows? Yeah.
And we will we'll probably reconvene a round table of a number of our colleagues here at NK News and NK Pro next week to go through all the finer details of the Congress and the parade, if indeed there is one. Because, as I mentioned before, North Korea is very economical. It doesn't release schedules ahead of time. It doesn't say ahead of time whether there will be a parade. And even afterwards, sometimes, like, for example, I imagine Kim Yo Jong knows what department she's now the director of. And maybe it was even announced at the meeting. I
certainly hope so.
Yeah, you'd hope so, right.
Yeah.
But in North Korea's reporting of these things, in the Rodong Shinmun, it can sometimes be retrospectively economical with information. Why all this thriftiness with facts? That's the enduring mystery of North Korea, isn't it? That there's so much that goes on that they want the world to know certain things. They want. Take for example the daughter Kim Jo. We've seen a lot of stories in the mainstream media in the last couple of weeks. Kim Jong Un has appointed her, or rather chosen her as designated successor. But none of this has been reported in North Korean media, right?
No, they've referred to her as the sort of darling daughter or whatever.
Respected child or something.
Respected child, whatever. Yeah. But there's not really been much concerning her title or her actual name.
And she's not appeared at the Congress, has she?
No. Yeah.
Interesting. So again, it's North Korea wants us to know certain things and wants us to think certain things. So it's been clear, as we've been saying over the last few months.
That's the objective of state media wherever you go. Chinese state media does the same.
Right.
So North Korean state media is no different in terms of what it wants the public to know or what it wants the public to think. It's, I think, up to us to analyze, what their main objective is.
Of course. But there is a certain playfulness to it. It feels like, doesn't it? It does feel at times that North Korea is sort of playing games with the outside world, saying, we'll let you know this much, but we won't let you know that.
I mean, you see from the statements that Kim Yo Jong makes to South Korea that she is quite vocal in terms of what she wants to say to South Korea and what she wants to leave out.
Right.
South Korean Ministry of Unification officials will interpret that the way that they want to.
Yeah.
Blue House officials will interpret that the way that they want to. But I think it's quite certain that the unification minister is still trying to, allay the concern that South Korea is going the same route as the Yoon administration. But, I don't think that's really working with Kim Yo Jong, as she's taking this sort of dual track approach of, look, we commend you for what you're doing, but at the same time, we don't really want anything to do with you.
Minister Jong, if you're out there, if you're listening, we welcome you here on the NK News podcast. Anytime you're ready, we've got a seat here for you. Yeah, please do. Well, thank you very much, Joon Ha, for walking us through the latest news from the Congress, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you.
Looking to stay informed about South Korea's fast-evolving political, business and cultural landscape? Join us on Korea Pro, the go-to resource for in-depth analysis expertly curated by top-tier professionals. And now you can pick the membership level that best suits your needs, thanks to our new subscription packages. Starting at just $199 annually, you can access daily analysis and our weekly podcast. Or try our premium membership package, which offers additional perks such as executive briefings, monthly reports and forecasts, networking receptions and event opportunities, as well as much, much more. To find the best fit for you, just head to signup.koreapro.org and become a member today.
Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of our podcast episode for today. Our thanks go to Brian Betts and David Choi for facilitating this episode, and to our post-recording producer, Alana Hill, who cuts out all the extraneous noises, awkward silences, bodily functions, and fixes the audio levels. Thank you for listening, and listen again next time.